Welcome, Voice First FM audience. I am happy you're joining us. We're going live on Twitter right now as well, and I am so excited to spend a few minutes with you this morning.
Great to be here.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to have to use the power of your shirt. Begin thinking. But I told you about the questions in advance. So I just want to talk with you for a few minutes about today and about tomorrow. Let's start with today. Who are you? What company are you with? And why are you here at the Alexa conference?
Great questions. Happy to share. I'm Heidi Culbertson. I'm the founder and CEO of a company named Marvi, which is named after my mother. Had an elder parent who had gone blind. The Amazon Echo was launched in 2014. She took to it like that.
Wow.
And realizing that my mom's just one of 55 million over the age of 65, decided that it was voice is a very neat opportunity to take emerging technology, build a business, and do social good at the same time.
Yeah.
And so have been embedded in the Alexa world since then. Anxiously waited for third-party development to be allowed.
Yeah.
Launched some very simple things, which in well-being and healthcare, simple has great impact.
Yes, it does.
And so I'm here, been kind of involved in the voice pioneer community.
Yeah.
I'm here really to stay up to date, meet folks that I know on Twitter and LinkedIn and some of the social networks that I've been interacting and revisit friends. And a lot, we're moving and we're in version 1, of voice.
Yes.
The community's young.
Yeah.
I've spent most of my career in emerging technology, so this reminds me of the early days of wireless and mobile.
Yeah.
But this is also time to really share, because voice is moving and accelerating so quickly.
Right.
But it's also a time to really start the early stage, I don't want to say strategic partnerships, but just collaboration.
That's right, even if it's informal.
Exactly.
That's
It's
right.
just learning from each other. Love that Amazon's at this conference.
Yeah, me too.
And they send their, Paul, and they send a lot of their top people.
Right.
And so you really have FaceTime with them. Bradley does a great job
Yes,
with
he
all
does.
of his summits.
Yeah.
So yesterday was fantastic.
Yeah.
Looking forward to today.
So we're here in the exhibit hall inside the Alexa Theater that's been built.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the ballroom and the breakout sessions. Give the folks on your Twitter account, watching on Bradley's YouTube account, like what was it like yesterday? What are you looking forward to today? Right, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
There's the main, talks. I mean, there's just a lot of energy, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So talk to us a bit about what are you excited about today?
Well, yesterday was interesting. First, we had a keynote by Brett from VoiceBot AI, and he always does a fantastic presentation, and is always.
I was clapping on the inside.
Well, it has such up-to-date information, and really is also a futurist, so he can really expound on, possible, believing in the possible. Where could it go?
Right.
And then there's marketing. Emily Bender from Beetle Marketing had a great session on how to kind of audio cast.
Right.
We had Brian and Katie and yesterday afternoon. So there's healthcare sessions, there's marketing sessions.
Right.
It was excellent first day.
Yes.
What I'm looking forward to today, there's a healthcare session I'd like to attend and hear some of the things that have happened in the last 6 months with voice. There's also an interactive session for interactive storytelling, and that's going to be more about what the process is, because I'm a voice designer and a UX person.
Right.
And then Amazon has a couple sessions today and tomorrow. So, what's coming up, and then really covering some toolkits today.
Yeah.
So from a development, my company creates voice experiences, and we specialize in doing them for older adults, whether it's wellness or healthcare.
Which is awesome.
So the whole gamut of development, design, interaction, HIPAA compliance, with healthcare, all those different things all, get tied together here, which is wonderful.
Yes, it is. So coming up pretty soon is an event that you are the keynote speaker at.
Yes.
And so everybody's excited about this. I've had several people talking to me, August 5th and 6th.
Yep.
It's at Harvard, it's the medical summit. Bradley and his whole team are going to do this, but for health and medical.
Yeah.
So talk to us about this event. You're the keynote speaker. Mm-hmm. There's your amazing photo. Just for a moment.
Live.
We have you live. So I'll keep it without the three faces of Heidi. One live and two on the side. So talk to us about this event that's coming up.
Yeah.
'Cause we're going to give a couple tickets away. Everybody on Twitter, all you have to do is retweet or give a heart, and you'll be entered into a random drawing. We're going to give a couple tickets away to this event. And if you want to win a ticket for every single event, all you have to do is post on Twitter with the hashtag AlexaConf2019, just like you did when you went live. So tell us about this conference.
So this is one of the industry conferences that Bradley's company, they've got the connected car and some other things. So healthcare, Voice of Healthcare is in Boston, which happens to be where most of my family lives.
Oh, right.
I'm originally from New England.
Yeah.
So I'm excited I know the area really well.
Yeah.
But the conference is really going to discuss in a very intimate way how voice impacts the clinical environment, hospital organization and healthcare organizations, patient-centered care, and not just clinical healthcare, but also well-being.
Yeah.
Healthcare is from birth till we're gone.
That's right.
But we have 10,000 people turning 65 every day in the U.S. for the next 19 years.
That's right.
We have active older adults. We have some that have a little bit of need. We have pediatrics. I mean, it's the full gamut. Voice can help in the operating room. Voice can help in outpatient care.
That's right.
So a lot of the sessions will be about what's happening today, what's needed from a compliance perspective with HIPAA and PHI, personal health information. We are in version 1 of Voice First, very much so. It's very early and we have a long way to go in healthcare. But I think anyone who attends will realize and already knows in their everyday medical practices. I always say voice brings back the simple.
Right. That's good.
And that's where people should start with voice, whether it's I can't touch this screen because I'm gloved from a sanitary position, and you have to call someone to get rid of a screensaver.
That's right.
To instead saying, oh, I moved out of camera.
No, you're
instead
just fine.
saying, Alexa.
Right.
To being able to address sending I'm okay message or updates, simple notifications to new information.
Yeah.
So, and voice will have evolved tremendously by August.
Absolutely. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I mean it's evolved at lightning speed, faster than any other technology.
Yeah. I think of all the things I've gotten emotional about in the voice space, it's been the elderly for me. Like when I think about, my parents, and as time goes on, like they'll become more and more dependent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that are private. Like you just think about the hardship of ordering things like adult diapers. Like you don't want to tell your kids or grandkids, that's private, but you could talk to Alexa and have it just sent right to you.
Yeah.
Or what if you lose your mind? What if you start to become Alzheimer's or dementia and you don't really know what's going on? What happens in the future where you wake up and there's no alert that wakes up your system and says, good morning, Jake. Good morning, Betty.
Right.
This is your name. You live at your daughter's house. In the next 5 minutes, she's going to bring in juice for you. Would you like to listen to Tony Bennett or Frank Sinatra? Here's a photo of your family. And all of a sudden, it's a completely different experience.
Right.
Where these voice devices start to talk to the elderly and make them feel comfortable.
Right.
So instead of them waking up in fear and anxiety, they wake up, they have a sense of calm, they start listening to the music they want to listen to, they know where they're at, they know who they are, at least for that moment.
Yeah.
Like those types of things get me most emotional when I think about voice, because I think that we need to do a better job for caring for the elderly.
Yeah.
And those that have built this world that
Yeah.
we enjoy.
Well, and a lot of people think of the elderly as, everyone's on a walker. There's a very vibrant older community.
Yes.
Also, and they love to travel and explore. And when we look at, because I have a couple different disciplines in my background, when I look at design,
Yes.
and I look at voice, and in today's world, which is very transactional,
Right.
we have to look at whether it's an older adult, whether it's a younger person who has some limitations.
Yeah.
We have to look at cognitive load.
Yes.
Whether you do explicit or implicit or null confirmations
Absolutely.
in the design process.
Absolutely.
You have to look at and understand that, and it's about voice wherever it is. It's not necessarily about a voice assistant.
No, that's right.
That's the form factor.
That's exactly right.
But you also have to understand that there's almost always a third party involved, and that might be the doctor.
Right.
That might be, senior transportation. That
That's right.
will probably always be a family caregiver,
That's
even
right.
though family members don't identify as caregivers. They're just helping mom and dad.
Yeah, but that's still their
So when you look at voice and you start thinking about, where should I start? Where can I go?
Yeah.
You want a roadmap that voice, more than any other technology before that, allows you to connect all the parties. That's never been easy.
Never. No.
So that's what's really exciting about voice. Even even if it's in a clinical setting, there's usually a family member
Yes.
that needs to be, whether they're a proxy, whether they're just, a silent caregiver. And we have an aging population.
Right.
The world has an aging population.
Yes.
So, healthcare is not just about aging, but yeah, I was fortunate enough to have a very healthy elder parent, and I'm the youngest of a large family. So, my mom was still playing tennis at 87.
That's awesome.
But she was blind by 90 due to macular degeneration.
Wow.
So suddenly isolation and loneliness creep into formerly vibrant lives.
That's right.
And if we can identify those things socially when they start to withdraw, it all affects health.
Yeah.
So I think the Voice of Healthcare Summit will be very diverse in the sessions it address,
Yes.
because there's so many different clinical settings,
Right.
but there is also many user scenarios.
Yes.
I'm actually going to be publishing a book in the spring that's literally voice aging with Alexa, basically. User scenarios. How do you use voice in this scenario? How do you use voice in this scenario? With some tips,
Right.
Because that's been kind of the desire. I've been fortunate enough to have trained over 20,000 older adults on how to use Alexa.
That's so cool.
Which gives me user behavior data, things like that. But
Well, I encourage
voice,
you, I encourage you
voice
to
makes life better.
record those trainings.
Yeah.
To document them.
Yeah.
So imagine the next 200,
Yeah.
right, being shared so that people can see how you do it, because you obviously are great at it, doing
Well,
the venue.
I just,
It's a great service to do.
it's really about, thank you. It's really about the user and working backwards towards just making life better.
Yeah. So let's end on a visionary note. Like Alexa 2024, Voice 2100, where does this technology take humanity in and out of the health space, in and out of the design space?
Well, I'm thinking. Let me think. There's a lot. I think in the short term, before 2024, in the short term, the next stage is voice having a better ear and understanding the user.
Yeah.
And that's different languages, that's dialects and accents and all of that. So the natural language processing has to improve. 2024 will be all about voice knowing who the user is. And it won't be about us speaking to a device. Voice will just be part of our environment.
That's right.
I think voice will be environment aware. I think voice will be personal. I think it will be contextually aware. I think security and privacy will not be complete by then.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I think there are some walls that are going to have to be constructed. Because if you add personalization and you add contextual, if you do those without parameters, it's just dangerous.
Yeah.
But the next door neighbors, we were talking earlier. I said the next door neighbor is going to be the Jetsons.
Right.
People laughed when the microwave came out. A lot of people laughed when Amazon launched its microwave, and I went, okay, my mom was blind.
Yeah.
She would have loved the microwave.
Yeah.
I think voice is just going to be everywhere, and I don't think we'll be thinking about voice.
Right.
We'll just be speaking.
Yeah.
But what'll be really neat in 2024, to me, because I'm always an emerging
Yeah.
kind of technology, and technology just enables.
Yeah.
What will be interesting is as it becomes ubiquitous, as it becomes part of our environment, a friend in our environment, it's really what innovations are going to happen in 2024 that are layered on top of voice that we're technically constrained by today.
Yeah.
So, you've got language, you've got machine learning, you've got AI, you've got, it's like the power in raw data is powerless until you do something with that data. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Especially since, we're all living longer.
Yes.
I didn't think
it could be much, much, much longer.
Well, and I didn't think I'd see this again. I'm old enough to. I remember the launch of the internet. I was a first generation wireless and mobile application person. So, and that was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I remember people going, I don't need a cell phone. I don't need email on my phone.
Right.
I said, well, drive back to it's too slow. Drive back to the office. Well, we're in that stage with voice. Now it's, what's the weather, as Bradley mentioned.
Right.
And instead it will be, for older adults, okay, the weather's this. I suggest you put on a coat today.
Yeah.
So it'll be proactive in assisting, not just proactive in, here's the weather.
Right.
So it's fascinating.
So last question on the future. Let's say on your Twitter account or on Bradley's YouTube account, there's a UX, UI designer in the health space, a technologist in the health space. Mm-hmm. Why would you encourage somebody to consider VUI, voice user interface, VUX, voice user experience? Why would you encourage them to make a shift from screens, phones, computers, to a voice experience? Why is that better for their career, for their happiness, for their productivity in a 5-year career span? Like, how do you see that playing out 5 years from now for them to switch from just being a designer to designing with their mind a whole nother thing, which is now audio?
Great question.
I just felt like your Twitter audience deserved that question. You're welcome.
We're going to live in a multimodal world. I mean, there's an audience that is voice first. And that's conversation design, designing the conversation.
Right.
And you have to really understand who the audience is that you're designing for in a specific niche. Then there's voice forward, where you're still designing voice first, but it's also going to go forward to a screen.
Yeah.
So from a designing standpoint, if you don't engage with becoming a VUI designer, you're going to lose the channel that's going to be the first channel.
That's good.
Voice first. We were web first. You have to design for a website. You have to have a website. Mobile first wasn't mobile only.
Right.
It was the first screen we interact with. Is a mobile device.
That's right.
Well, voice first means, the first interaction we're going to enable is voice.
That's right.
So from a career perspective, you have to not just dip your toe in, and learning early, you expand your expertise. I also believe that it's not just UX designers needing to move into voice design, because
Right.
you've got user research, you've got
That's right.
you've got actual design, you've got writing the conversations. There's a lot
That's
of
right.
different disciplines
Yes.
and practices within it. Writers,
Right.
people who like to write, people who know how to tell a story.
That's right.
People know how to script concisely.
good.
People who understand there are differences based on the user scenario, the persona, whether they're young, older,
Yeah.
slower on the take,
Right.
quick as
That's right.
quick bantering, and
Right.
it's understanding how to layer all those things is an art.
Yeah, it is.
And from a career perspective, there are very few it hasn't been around. You've got people and experts like Kathy Pearl and some of those who came out of the language processing and I'm blanking on the acronym.
NLP.
No, I'm having a senior moment.
I'm not even
That's the
thinking.
name of one of my
I have
skills,
no
by the way.
idea.
I did that on purpose.
Having a senior moment. That's cute.
Yeah. So,
Well, let me ask the final question. How can people get a hold of you?
I can be reached. My website is askmarvy.com.
Yeah.
My email is heidi@askmarvy.com.
There you go.
My Twitter handle is hculbertson.
Okay.
And just tweet. The fastest is just send me a direct message on Twitter.
That's great. Thank you so much for letting me interview you for a moment.
Oh, thanks for having me this morning.
Yeah. And don't forget to retweet and to heart, and you can win a couple tickets to the upcoming event where you are the keynote speaker.
Thank you.
Have a great conference today.
Thanks.
Okay, you can stop that. We'll see you soon, YouTube.